for budget workshop, so well, let's call for a pledge. Let's do the pledge and then, we'll get moving along, so everybody joins for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And with that, I'll call the Damascotta Select Board to order for March 4th. Yeah, March 4th. March 4th. And this is just for a continuation of a budget workshop, not one of the other 6 meetings. So one at a time. Just as a recap, we had 3 of us there last week. I think I touched base with everybody that wasn't here, and then we had more or less had some discussions go through capital and whatnot, and then we had the board had made some recommendations for a couple of the items that we felt were non-controversial, kind of fixed ones that we couldn't really do much about.
I got your email.
Yeah, solid waste, contingency legal, was it GA, hydrants? Did we do insurance? Good advice. We held off on insurance, right?
We did not.
No,
Okay.
we talked about it and I started to check it off, yeah, and then the street lights, traffic lights, and then what, Biskie Beach, so, and then we went into capital and property eval and the fire equipment ones. We moved the manager's recommendations of 6 and 30 for those respectively. And that was kind of where we ended up, so at that point, yeah, go ahead, Dan. Yeah.
Oh, you think I come to second?
You were going.
I didn't know we were done recapping.
No, I mean, that's more or less it, and I think the goal today was, maybe we can get through capital, it depends on how people feel, if any questions, so yeah.
So I, just as a follow-up to an earlier discussion.
Yeah.
So I went back and just did some math.
Oh, good.
No, I don't know if it's good math or bad.
Well,
But to get to the 5% increase, excluding the betterment piece. Over
Yes.
prior year,
yeah,
we did them, it was like 8% or something, 8.8, which translated to about 135,000.
yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and last time Andy talked about, you got comfortable and we're okay with it, but we didn't vote on it. Auto excise up 25,000, and then the revenue sharing, we know that's a solid number, an extra 30,000.
Well, we know
That was my note.
that's the state's projection, and it could be more, it could be less, but what we tend to do is we put it on the tax commitment form as they stated.
Okay,
And
so
that's an
that's,
automatic deduction, period, but for the sake of finding essentially
this is just
a
discussion.
benchmark.
Yeah, so from the 135, that was our target, because we've had discussions around, what can we live with for an increase?
Yeah,
8% seemed
really, what's the
high.
difference between that 8% and that 5%?
Right, is 5 okay?
Yeah.
Sort of. So if you get those things gone, we're down to 80,000, so I think that's the number we're looking for still. If my math's right.
Yeah, because we threw about roughly 100,000, but 80 sounds.
Well, no, if these numbers are good, the 135.
If you count
is the
those.
difference, so I think 80,000 is at least in my math.
Yeah.
Is kind of what we're looking at.
Okay,
That's to get to the 5%.
Correct.
to kind of break that
Yeah.
difference we
And
counter in the
Yeah,
possibility.
excluding the betterment piece,
Yep.
which is
Right.
outside of our.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Let me ask about that, because I'm not clear on the betterment part. 'Cause I
Okay.
Missed that conversation.
Yeah, so.
Provider agency.
Yeah, I know that, but.
So when we look at the calculation back here, wherever it is. His percentage change was based upon what the current betterment was, which was like 3,000. And
Yeah.
last year it was
I think it's
95.
page
So it's
14.
17,
14, I believe.
14. So we said, I was thinking, you gotta get to apples.
Yeah.
And so the percentage change that was in there included betterment at 3,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And last year it was 95 or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to counting the.
So-
Fire.
So just eliminate the betterment piece. We don't control it anyways.
Okay,
And so that if you eliminate that, then what is the percentage change in terms of the recommended increase?
Yeah.
And that's what got us above 8%.
okay,
And that bumps it up to 8, yeah, because we're coming in just under 6.
That makes sense.
yeah,
So we looked at we were all looking at the 5.8, going, oh, that's not bad, and went, oh, wait a minute.
It's not.
That's not where you wanna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah,
And
and
so
we-
then, I guess we're gonna go to capital.
I think, yeah, we should start, that's on 14, or sorry, 13 out of 108. And, yeah, it's kind of time to start there. Andy, just a recap, on the capital stuff. I know you've got figures out there and you do a really good job getting stuff in here, but remind me, like on the fire truck one, where we at, well, that's tight with the payments and stuff, but we have one, we have a truck ordered, so. And your capital, can you,
Yeah, we have a truck ordered, the goal, we talked about it last year. We know we're not gonna be able to raise the cash to buy it outright when
Yeah.
it comes due, that's a very
This
steep
is-
increase.
yeah, a lot of dollars.
To get to that number,
Yeah.
but what we were trying to do is assuming we'd have to bond the balance, and what would that payment need to be to pay off the balance less than 500,000?
Yeah.
The number, I think some of the difference between my column and the fire chiefs is acknowledging that when we make that payment in 3 years, we'll have built up the reserve over a couple of years with this in mind. So do we want to take the extra 150,000 that was added to meet that future payment and put that towards lowering the debt amount? Do we use TIF money to help lower the debt? So I know there's some other creative ways we can potentially fund that. That would lower the bonding amount to, if the goal was say 750. So that would then lower our payment. So I think there's a little there. As an update, I mentioned to Daryl the other day, I don't know if I put it on the last meeting or not. We are hustling to try and apply for earmark money for next fiscal year.
Yeah.
For the ladder. So,
For the whole thing.
yes. Well, that's what we paid, yeah.
So maybe we put down too much is what you're saying?
No, I think it just a bit better positions us, and I think we're not limiting ourselves to just the trucking there, so some of the equipment that we'll have to buy to put on.
Yeah, was there an issue on that bond where we've already ordered the truck?
No, I don't, it doesn't sound like it because we did a competitive process right now. USDA sounds like what I've told them they think would be fine. We could still find out. Should we get far enough in the process with consideration that it doesn't, but. So, okay, full steam ahead then on this other aspect, but we are still actively trying to find other ways, even though the vote is already approved. Authorization, like, we are still trying to find other alternatives.
And the earmark would be through one of the congressional offices. Yeah, and they've.
We plan to apply for all three offices, both our rep Pingree and both senators, and one of them's due Friday. So we may or may not get everything we need.
But even if we apply, we won't know till next year or.
We won't know, there's a first round is like the vetting of like, okay. On the House side, I think they can sponsor like 10 or 15 projects. Senate, they tend to put most of them through. And then in both cases, they go to the Appropriations Committee for consideration. So coming out of that bigger process, we'll know if we're still in the running, but as a secondary piece. And then they need to pass a federal budget. Which is what happened in fiscal year 25, the federal government operated on continuing resolutions and no one got the award down here. So yeah, there's kind of like 3 checkpoints, the initial vetting to submit to appropriations, the appropriations recommendation for funding, and then the actual funding measure.
So with all that, you're thinking about a haircut on the capital amount?
I don't know, I mean, potentially, because there is a couple more years, you might be able to do that a little bit, you can see it's already lower than what the fire chief had there.
Yeah,
So I mean, in that one in particular, I mean, it does a little bit depend on whether we could get a grant. Either way, we're at the bond.
And in at the end of the
Bigger
day,
balance.
the difference would just be funded by the bond.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other creative ways to. Do it outside of taxation would be to look at what's the fund balance that year, can you use fund balance to lower the debt impact?
So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to just take 10,000 anyway?
So to that point, the reason I brought that one in particular, because I knew there's some other moving parts to it, but just to throw some numbers out there, and I did get a chance to chat with Dan earlier. Looking at capital and going through what Andy's proposed, the manager's proposal. If we looked at each one of these and say we had 5% wiggle room on them, that's about 70 grand rough difference. But again, I don't, I want to make sure we're not cutting our,
Exactly.
how do I put it?
Yeah.
Cutting off our nose to
Yeah, so like, municipal building, I mean, just the fire truck alone, right? You've got 100, you're asking 110 or recommending. And that would be 104.5, for 5%, and is that, I mean, it does add up to about almost where the gap is, where we're looking.
Well, we still have the operating.
We still-
But you still offering it to come in, yeah.
I mean,
So-
any way we look at it, we still have to pay for it.
We do.
Right, yeah, we know that, yeah, I was just trying to figure,
Whether
do we
take
have
it
enough?
from this
do we-
year or next
Do
year.
we have enough to lean it out to get to, sorry, yeah, no, I mean, we're trying to get from right now an 8%
Right.
increase in the budget to maybe closer to 5,
5 or
if we
6,
can do that, yeah, and.
But
maybe
you,
some other places
you really
that,
wanna
but-
do it this,
I don't think,
across the board, or you wanna do some more?
Well, for an exercise, you're looking at like, fire station, there's a difference there between, I went off of the lower ones anyway, on some of these, but it's not written in stone. I mean, you look at, highway facilities, manager's pro's 100,000, that would be 95,000, would be, $5,000, but. So they're not huge numbers,
well,
No, what I'm saying
But-
is, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Yeah.
I think to be fair maybe to Andy's work that he's done behind it is, some of them, there may be more room to move than
Exactly.
others.
there could
So
be,
so
yeah.
maybe it's worth just going through each of them, and I know.
Yeah.
I know it's time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but like the fire truck,
There.
I'm hearing that there's other ways to pay for it. Potentially that maybe there's the congressional thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we know we're gonna have to take a bond out if we don't get the congressional thing, so the bond is an
we
extra
can,
100,000 or
we
something.
can cover it.
Or
yeah.
whatever it might be.
Yeah,
So
there might be some.
so maybe the fire truck, to Tom's point, maybe you take 10 or 20 off of that to help you get towards the number you need. And there's more room in that number than in some of these others.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So.
Well, I got you around here to explain what.
But I think to your point, do we wanna go through these item by item?
I think we do,
Well,
just
are we
quickly.
really doing capital reserve?
Well, right now,
By
yes.
item? Okay.
Right now,
Right now,
yeah,
we're just by item capital
yeah,
reserve.
we basically, we're looking back, between the meetings, we've already gone through capital really in depth, so. We're trying to get ahead and get some stuff moved so we can stay ahead of the process here and keep things kind of moving along for the budget committee as well.
Yeah, so with the,
So,
so let me just, since we're talking
Yeah, go
about the
ahead.
fire truck, would it make sense to even? Cause if we are looking for 80,000, would it make sense to take 20,000 off of the fire truck now to move us forward?
I wanna refer back to what the fire chiefs of mine, what my 10-year outlook doesn't do justice is we buy trucks. Sometimes for that.
it's the other trucks
You know,
too.
so you're missing that, maybe it's year 11 that the next one would have to be bought. John did present a 30-year outlook, and
Yeah.
I would. Want to go back and look at what that benchmark was for the bigger picture, because we know we're behind on the ladder truck, but we don't want to fall behind on the next one if we can, if we have the ability to.
It's not just the ladder truck, it's the
Yeah.
other, that's to be replaced.
I think that one of the next trucks is somewhere right now, if you had to replace it, is somewhere between the $750,000 to $1 million mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one it is, and so like, wanna make sure, like, when you're looking out further, like that balance you're keeping could afford, if that's the goal, is to afford avoiding debt payment. Or interest payments on a bond, and so I wouldn't wanna go too far below potentially and need to claw out of that one.
So, how do you wanna leave it? You wanna, go to John and say, we're considering cutting this back by 20,000, what do you think, one way or the other?
I certainly give him a heads up as being considered, but he did present a 30-year plan for funding levels.
Yeah.
So I just wanna go back and look at it.
I know, but I mean.
Yeah, I'm worried that might be too much, to go to the 20s.
All I'm saying is, just to say, we're thinking about, 20,000 and it falls off his chair and.
Well, what
I
if
think
we,
you will.
Well, where else can we cut it?
well, that's what I was saying,
Well,
what if we
just
itemize
started
this
with that.
5% per
We're
item?
gonna go through all the items, but we just started with that.
All right.
Right. And then we can circle back and say.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't,
You may say
let's,
forget it, right?
Let's back up a little bit. Let's start with municipal building. So
Alright.
we have two proposals there. Department request and manager requests are both the same, 50,000. A lot of that's looking at the HVAC units and whatnot, Andy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the more immediate one. This is where I was hoping it was helpful to have like that project list.
Yeah.
especially. And so if you go to
Yeah.
page 5 of 50, or well, Said at 50, I think, when you printed it, it was back to that tab.
Yeah.
Capital there.
Yeah.
For municipal building, they've got a full house, about a 10-year.
Right, yeah, no, I'm sorry, we're.
So you can see.
We had stuff for you.
That's okay, but you can see where, do you wanna account for, well, doors we kind of have to take care of,
Mhm.
the painting. The outside needs painting, there's an example there, it's like, well, do you wanna push it off another year? It's scheduled for FY 28, probably could be done next year, but in light of the other things there, for next year, I'm just thinking another door, and that's on the back end of the building, the east side, and then. Working on the floors, maybe we put off the floor work. We just need a good cleaning and buffing and re-waxing, maybe we don't do the epoxy treatment downstairs yet, although we should do something soon. So I think that's where it's like getting into the list more specifically. So yeah, we put off the walkways another year, as opposed to potentially spending $26,000 next year.
But that number is really specific. How did you arrive at 26,906.25?
I got another spreadsheet that
Oh, that's all right.
runs out the cost of asphalt work versus prep work.
All right.
Yeah, that's the number.
Well, I mean,
came up.
that's what I mean, is that specific, it sounds like you've drilled down on that thing, and it's probably pretty rigid.
Yeah, these are all my estimates based on whatever.
Whereas the 50,000 for the town parking lot drainage, that's,
Yeah, the big question mark on that one falls back on the deed agreement, essentially. Within the
Yeah.
deed for the property is what's considered maintenance, is redoing the parking lot maintenance, or is that capital investment in someone else's? I mean, that's the part that I guess shared with Daryl's a question that we had raised about what is in the deed, and I pulled it up, it just says maintenance, but there's no definition for maintenance. Where's that stop?
Mm.
Is it lawn mowing and fixing the lightings? Is it putting up and digging out and putting in a whole new parking lot? And so I'm putting it in there, assuming that we will be paying a share of the work. That's a conversation between us and the property owner to say, is that where they're understanding it to be? And that could happen as early as this year. Okay. We don't have to do Chapman at the corner over here, the 50 grand, sorry, it was actually for this corner, the 20,900 for the back. Do we put off this corner for another year, and then it wouldn't be a problem to lower it. The HVACs, you probably wanna have the balance to pay for the replacement of those, given that they're 20 years old now.
Yeah, I think it's probably the more important one on our.
With the HVAC.
Yeah, so let's say, I'm hearing you, so if the lot drainage, if you pushed out another year, would that save you 10,000?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at making that next year, a couple other projects might end up coming in less, hopefully, from what I've got here. So I think that's one there that I think the balance for me to maintain is those, HVAC units, and then the rest of it is okay, the 5%, okay, we just push something else off.
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, so you're looking at,
Yeah.
if we look at 5% on
Yeah,
that
no,
50, we're looking at 47.5, it's just $2,500.
So I'm with Tom, and I know this is painful, but I'd like the municipal building, I would say 40. So save 10,000.
So you're looking at going 10,000 on that, okay.
Yeah.
At this point, if you want to make a motion.
I'll make a
I'll
motion
recommend that, yep.
for the municipal building capital reserve for 2027, $40,000.
second.
Tom seconds, all right, any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, so moving through, yep. All right. 40 on that one, okay. So, so fire stations next,
And yours is higher than John,
yeah,
so tell us about that.
Johnson's ends up, I think, being higher than mine. The number I had there, he had mentioned in the meeting he was at, I think was higher. So one of the biggest differences if you go to that 10-year outlook is all the projects on
yeah,
there.
that's on 6 of 50.
He's really concerned about what the actual cost of the driveway resurface will be out front. That building site, in some places, maybe didn't have the depth dug out that probably it should be, and so do you just reclaim the surface and put a new surface down without dealing with the subsurface there, or do you dig it deeper? And they did the backside, they ended up going deeper than I think they originally planned.
I think they're gonna do the same thing out front.
And so the building
swamp, right?
Yeah, it's
The
all.
building's like so flat, and it's
Yeah.
shifting and moving because it's in a swampy area. And
A lot of
so
air in there.
he was anticipating closer to $300,000. I was at 200 and I went to 225 and I ran the numbers again.
Mhm.
Somehow, I
You're
wrote
going-
down, yeah, I wrote down hundred and fifty from the last meeting, I don't remember why.
I don't either.
Somebody must have brought something up.
No, it definitely wouldn't be the 150. What I have done since is we see the wastewater upgrade on there
Yes,
at 135. Though I did account for it down below, at the 120.
Yeah.
The county is allowing us to use the ARPA money they gave us.
Yeah.
To put towards the installation of that, so.
Okay.
I just don't know what it's gonna come in at for a cost. If it is 135, we've potentially got the whole thing. The other part of the county money will be looking at that coastal rivers corner property up there with us and re-envisioning that with housing. So until the bids come back on that one, I don't know. Those are due on the 16th.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the 16th. And so we'll have a sense of what that feasibility study cost will be. And then essentially, if we want to add on to anything, we can talk about that, or the rest of it could just go to the treatment. I do want to get that out to bid, but probably won't be for another couple weeks. Before I get that pulled together. I'm planning on advertising a design build and.
Yeah.
And going forward, we just gotta figure out, estimate the flow, and then they can kind of run from there, whoever's in the bid on it.
I'm recalling, I think that John said he didn't know what that number was gonna be, and he said it couldn't be as low as 150, that's probably why I wrote that down, but,
Oh, no, he was definitely on the higher side. He had 300,000 when he and I talked.
okay.
That's why I think his. Was actually higher.
For the driveway, yeah.
But with that one there, I mean, the generator's another one that I was hoping that we could include, but given the nature and the uncertainty of the earmark funding, he wasn't comfortable putting it in there because there are things now that he wants on the backup generator that its current one's not sized to
Oh.
handle, like the gear extractor, they got an additional one. I believe it was.
Yeah.
It's like they can't hook that up and run off that current generator.
Gotcha.
So he actually wants to get that upgraded sooner. And so I don't know if that one's better suited, and then the installation is a little bit of a guess. We do have some money from the state, the community action grant for purchasing the installation, but this would be to cover the cost of installing it. Now, whether we can or can't do that more in-house, I don't know. It's all drop ceiling in that Bay Area, which is a terrible
Yeah.
thing
Are
to
they
try
looking
and,
for blown in or bats?
bats strapped, because they weren't strapped before. A lot of it's
that's what
now
I
settled on
remember the
top of
conversation, but-
the
Yeah.
drop ceiling, and so you've got to get, I don't remember what the gap is between the hanging ceiling and then what you have to attach, but. Anyone that's worked in drop ceilings before, and you've got to, if that gap is too far, it's gonna be a chore to strap it all in. So I don't know if it's feasible we could do it in-house or not. This would allow us to be able to pay for the installation work.
That's a big job, yeah.
Yeah, that one there, I mean, I think it just kind of falls on what is that wastewater upgrade cost, and then you can see out for those 10 years at the numbers we proposed, like what that running balance is, and so. It stays pretty healthy. If you were to go from the 150, what would 5% less be on that one?
7,500.
So it probably looks like the running balance, looking quickly, would
Yeah.
still be okay.
Okay,
So.
yeah, I
You
did
went
my
down
math off of the,
5%.
off of the
Okay.
one.
I think that I just worry about the uncertainty of that, how far do we end up getting in that front resurfacing work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me nervous too. I mean, the chances are that's gonna be,
Right.
there's a lot of material in there and whatnot, so, even that being said, so if we did, yeah, okay.
So what are we thinking, 142.50?
Yep. 142,
That
500.
would put us at
Yep.
5, and if we're still comfortable, yeah, okay. Did I hear you make the motion, Daryl?
I'd love to.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for 27 at 142,500 for the fire station.
for the capital.
The cap,
Sorry, no, I knew just, I knew you did that. All right, I have a second, all right.
Second.
Then Tom's gonna second, okay, any other discussion on that?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor?
Okay.
Yeah. For Andrea, I just called for a vote on, Daryl's motion of 142,500 for the fire station capital. So
Okay.
we just.
Fire state, this one? The
Yeah.
one that was 150?
Yeah. So one,
Now
proposes
is-
142,500, and I just called for, we have 4 already, I just know where you want to vote on that.
I'm fine.
So, okay, so we have all 5. Alrighty, okay, a little bit there, here and there. highway facilities, yeah, and Andy, you've got a proposal of 100,000, right? It's different between the two.
Yeah, the big ticket there is really, I mean. The salt shed
The
replacement.
building.
Unknown at the moment, if we were to replace it at its current capacity between the two facilities, I think that's a pretty close number, to what we would need to invest in a facility that large,
And we have to do it.
yeah,
I mean, it's falling in.
the structural assessment is such that we've now got a report that suggests within that 3 to 5 year mark from then in 2023, I think it was, that, or maybe it was 24, that we replace it within 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
So there's your ticking clock on doing that. What we're running up against is, you know, what, if anything, do the two towns public
towns
works
do.
operation look
Right.
like?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we end up overbuilding potentially, just given the timeline and needing to know, but we still have time.
So how about we put 50 in this year and 50 next year and do it this year?
I don't think we can. We have to do it this year.
We do?
Well, if you do 50 and 50, you're gonna be down
Oh, yeah.
a net of 100.
So the 375, is that what it would cost?
That's my estimate.
Sized for the two towns?
No, that's what it would cost to replace the current.
Okay,
That's what is current apples, in.
Yeah, but put it in one building instead of two.
Okay.
What was the difference, I'm trying to remember now, I'm sorry, the request and the proposal, the 150 and the 100. You recall off the top of your head, sorry. But your proposal out of 100,000
Yeah.
accounts for,
So I think for me, it was
Building.
so I present both of these.
I know,
When I project out, you can see there in FY 29 with the estimated cost we have there.
Yeah.
Your balance would be left with $9,500 potentially.
yeah, okay,
To me, that's a bit low.
it's a low balance.
To have, you know, and that doesn't take into account trying to build the balance for a potential $1 million garage down the road. That was more of a conversation thing.
Right.
I mean, at some point, I presume we will need more than the 2 bay residential garage we have. It might not be $1 million to build, but that's not impacting the balance in FY 29, essentially when you might replace the building, the sand building, salt building. So I mean, I think of like, do we need to, you know, think about the paving now? I mean, realistically, you're probably gonna pave after the building goes up. Potentially before, but probably after. So maybe you can put, you know, the 5% could just shift that off another year if need be. Maybe there's grants in the future, we can get to do some of that stuff. So I mean, I don't
Well, that
think the
one-
5%.
and
That one seems pretty tight
But
to me.
The other
But there's
number,
still that potential merger of the.
there's always that potential and who knows what that,
Potential, but yeah,
yeah.
it's,
So
we're still,
I get it's tight, but it sounds like, you're not, the paving's gonna, it makes sense to do it after.
Yeah, it'd be hard to think where we are right now to say, let's go pave next year or 2, or even in that year, not knowing right now.
what's
So having a balance to be able to do that, knowing we need to do it, because some of it is paved, and I don't think this is a cost to repave all of the places that aren't paved. This is more to pave what is paved.
Okay.
And then,
yeah,
wearing off
paving
on
all
others.
what's there,
So,
yeah.
so would you be comfortable another 5% here, so instead of 195?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
make a
what I
motion.
had.
I'd do, make a
So
motion.
highway facilities 95.
Yeah,
Dan's gonna, yeah, Dan, you just made a motion,
Even though
or,
he's already come down from 150.
hang on, we get, Dan's got a motion, that 95,000
Right.
for, okay, so I just need a second.
I'll second that
Okay,
motion.
Dara's gonna second, any other discussion? And did you have clarification question, Ryan?
Nope.
Yeah, so, okay, all those in favor? Good, all right. Yeah, waterfront project 0, that's a good one, all right. Do we wanna, fire truck, do we wanna skip over that one for right now?
I think we need,
Where we-
this is,
Come back to it.
Yeah, if I can
I think
pull
that's
John's,
good. Yeah.
30-year plan back out and just see what
Yeah.
long-term funding
Let-
levels are at.
Let's revisit that.
Right.
We did fire equipment already, that was at the
Yeah.
6,000 earmark, so.
Yeah.
Police vehicle, that is, where we at? Getting there, Andrew, I think it's on I think 12 of 50, that's your fire vehicle, I'm sorry, your police vehicle. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's another one where it's, yeah, they're asking 45. 5% would be 42,750. How would that affect us long term here?
Yeah, I think
Would that push us out?
so what we budgeted here for replacement costs is based on replacing the F-150. And that base value is what we paid 2 years ago plus minor inflation.
Yeah,
I do know Waldeboro put a bid out this year for an F-150. I think they said it was like 46 or 8,000 for the, I mean, not outfitted, but just
but for the base,
vehicle
the
cost.
vehicle, yeah.
And I think when we got it 2 years ago, it was like 54,
Hmm.
something like that.
Did we
I know
talk
price
about
didn't
not
go
getting
down.
it? Did we
I know.
talk about not getting another truck, but just getting something else?
There are off vehicle options,
Yeah.
yeah.
SUV option.
Yeah.
So I think if you
Yeah.
go to an SUV, I'm kind of leaning in on Eric to, kind of with the buy-in of the department, like to understand, like the report that we had just noted that it is harder to turn trucks around in those tighter areas which we have.
Mhm.
And one of the things, when we went to trucks too, the first one, like the Dodge and then the Fords, another one we're looking at was like resale value, but that's almost moved at this point with a police vehicle. I don't know for.
Especially when you're done with them at 130,000 miles.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's something you can even factor in so much now.
Yeah.
Like, more people want a truck, but they do not want a clapped out police truck.
So I think it's probably safe to say that, from what I've seen, that you would probably, 10 grand would still afford like an SUV. To then also be outfitted, so I think the outfitting of the truck was,
It's a lot of
an extra
money.
like $17,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot. to
So you
outfit.
still would have that cost, presumably in a new vehicle regardless, I mean, it's slightly
Right.
different depending on the models, but. But if that base value were to go from, I think this is assuming 55,000 or so, down by 10 to 45,000, that would give still a balance to be able to, if it ends up being a truck, to get the truck, or, so I think if you do the 10 grand there, that would still keep us.
Okay, I
Healthy, we'll leave it,
you want a motion?
you're saying 10,000, Andy?
Yeah, cause I think there might be ways to, based on the numbers that have been
Okay.
coming in, to see that might not be as much as we were thinking on the face value.
Okay,
Yeah,
so 35?
Mm-hmm.
that's more than I was,
Yeah, that's great.
looking for, but.
I think that's fine.
Just to make sure that's not gonna cut things too tight for us.
I will say the only other thing that we had here for the technology line was the camera system, and the chief has noted that we do have some blind spots that should be looked at. I think he was looking at 2 more cameras. Now I don't know that that's $10,000.
Right, to add into the outfitting of the
We've
vehicle.
already got the DVR here, so we just need to put the hardware in here.
Yeah.
And so, he's still waiting to get some numbers on that. There's some other improvements he'd wanna see us do too. I mean, some of them are in the works and are gonna be somewhat lower cost, just because there's some good community folks out there.
Yeah.
So I think, just wanna note that was the other component to the $45,000 ask. So I think the 10 still allows us to do that, given the current balance.
So the system will accept 2 cameras without improvement, so you're talking cat,
assumption.
cable and cameras?
It's an assumption. We have a full DVR system. I'm assuming there was room. We've got 4 cameras in
You
there
should
now.
have
I'm
plenty of
assuming we're fine.
You should have plenty of room.
Usually when you get those DVR systems, what we got, usually it's,
You think ours max out at 12 in the banks?
it's already its own ventilated room. We should replace the fan in there, so that should be fine. But I think, yeah, that would be, given the prices we now know for the cruisers, and that with what Chief's been trying to shake down on, some of those other improvements for what we had priced there, I think 10 would probably be okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital budget for the police vehicle of 35,000.
I'll second that. Okay, I'll second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay, great. All right. Well, that was tighter than I was anticipating. So. All right, highway truck. We have 35,000 on that one. 13, let's revisit that.
No,
on
no,
13.
no,
Yeah.
can we make that less?
Yeah, let's take a look. So we've got, I mean, the current truck is any day now, right?
Oh my God, it's always in the repair.
And, we're currently sitting on what, a 118 right now for. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, the big one there is, the idea of a second truck. Now, if you go and replace the current one, hopefully you're putting off some of those issues we've been having, and the time in the garage can be pushed off another 3, 4 years
Yeah.
potentially, with what we know at the moment at the current staffing level, so. You know, maybe it's not an FY 28 that we need to fund the other vehicle, and certainly
Right,
we
yeah.
wouldn't have, that's assuming it'd be new, we don't have to all go new for a second one
Okay.
if the board felt there should be a second one. I think when the other one's down, it is prudent to have something,
Mhm.
and so I think there's, room there, if you did your 5%, we certainly would have.
Yeah, it's 5% is not a huge amount, it's a small proposal, but I think it helps, I'll make a motion for the highway truck capital reserve at $33,250.
I'll second.
Motion for Darrell, any discussion on that? None? All those in favor? Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll put some deals out there, Andy, right? Wait. And that brings us to what, highway equipment? So we currently have 30 and a 35 on,
What page?
that's the next one on, yeah, 14 of 50, yeah. next one.
Andy, you have to tell us whether we can actually cut this one or not.
This one, I don't know, we've got 30,000 roughly fixed for
Mhm.
the two pieces of equipment on their 0% payoff timeline.
Yeah,
And so it's basically the funding level is to basically make that payment, and then the other $10,000 we were gonna spend out of that this coming year was for pieces that need to be replaced.
and the fund balance is relatively low.
I mean, 5% of 30,000, we probably be
That's
fine
fine.
with, but,
It's,
Can't do less.
Yeah.
If you need to
but
actually.
even
buy
that,
it,
do we, yeah,
Yeah, no, okay, I think we're okay.
Should we
with that.
just leave
we
it?
wanna,
Yeah.
I'm almost inclined to leave it at the
Yeah,
30.
just leave it at, just leave it at.
So I'll make a motion to recommend the highway equipment capital reserve at 30,000.
Second.
Andrea seconds, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay. And then we have we don't need sidewalks.
right.
Well, they're falling apart,
Yeah,
so.
Take 100,000.
What sidewalks?
It's a stretch to call them sidewalks.
I know.
Dan and I got ours,
Yeah,
so
so-
the rest of you don't care.
Gotta keep them in good shape,
Oh, yeah, they are. Like,
they're well shaped now.
what do you do here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, the difference between the department and the manager request is 50,000 there on that one, but,
Yeah, it's just a matter of, you
Allocating.
could fund it, I mean, you see some of the numbers there, you're gonna be. At 100,000, you're gonna keep a decent balance based on my projected numbers,
Mhm.
the cost. Extra 50 would have just afforded,
Yeah.
year where you hit negative 27,000, to be positive in that.
oh, yeah, I got you out to 30, FY 32, right?
I mean, the reality is we've got enough sidewalk work that needs to
I
get
know.
done that.
Oh, you could fund that at $500,000
Right.
a year and chew it up.
People were
Yeah.
screaming about it.
Um. Yeah, I don't know if that's
Also screaming about the budget.
worthwhile.
Well,
Yeah,
It both ways, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is like our roads, I mean, once you build these things, I mean, this is separate from adding new ones and funding new construction, but once you've built it, like you're obligated by law to.
Keep them.
yeah,
Keep them
To
in
not have
decent
people
shape,
fall
for
down?
for
Yeah, when
safety
they're
and
working.
accessibility, so, some of this is just, most of this. I remember, where it does show the new ones being built, there's also offsetting grant.
Yeah.
Right,
amounts.
yeah.
But there is no grant for Elm Street, there's no grant for Hodgson Street.
And
So, 70,000 in 2025, it's a round number, but. So we did do some repairs then,
Which one?
2025 actual.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're back on.
Setting aside,
You know, right.
do we have any, did we do any work then?
So this particular one's just showing what we put into.
Yeah, right.
So that was the amount that was raised and.
Yeah.
For the sake of the general fund, because when you do your town accounting, your general fund. So this is showing
Right.
that 70,000 was spent out of the general, went into that reserve. These sheets here show the
Yeah.
running balance. So in 25 sidewalk reserve. Show my estimated balance. I don't show. We spent, I think in 25, I think what we spent was our share, we've committed it anyways for the TPI.
Mhm.
I'd have to expand these back out, I consolidated them. But I don't have
Okay.
that. I can find out.
Well, my point was,
We actually spent-
we've been doing repairs along the way, maybe it's not as bad as we think going forward.
Well, if we've done repairs, they've been kind of spot and probably mostly have come out of operating. What this will force us to do is actually rip surface out and repave. If you don't have to rebuild the base, you're in better shape, but. Most of them at the very least need to have resurfacing, you know.
Are your numbers reflecting the base?
In some places.
That's kind of.
So that might be one where your 100,000 might be. Right there at pretty,
Yeah.
oh, well, I
I
mean,
mean-
rather, you can fund this, we can fund this.
As I say, your 5%,
exponentially.
if it's able to hit the
Yeah.
benchmark you're hoping to achieve, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not gonna sink any one of these, I think you could fund it higher and to get it done faster, it's all
Yeah.
about how quick.
I know.
If we need to, we can cut out sections and just patch it in, as opposed to doing the whole thing, so I mean, there's ways to work within it.
It's like, this one to me goes along with the, you know, the same guy, you run into paving on the next one, it's kind of the
Mhm.
same one, it's like.
Yeah.
The numbers don't change.
How much do you want to take on?
Right, they don't change, you can fund that, whatever, or, no, it just doesn't
But
get
the problem
done.
is, if you,
It doesn't
If
get
you underfund
done.
it.
if you underfund it for too long.
Yeah.
Then you get. then you-
Exactly.
then you're-
And we have some
I,
bad.
I'd be inclined to move that one at the full amount myself, but
Okay.
I would, I'll throw it out there, I'll make a motion to recommend $100,000 for the capital reserve for sidewalk.
Second.
And Andrew seconded, any discussion? None, all those in favor? Okay.
Yeah,
Tom, okay, yeah.
thinking
I
about
know,
it.
that's a tough one.
I mean, we've already dropped it down to 50,000.
There's some movement in here,
Yeah,
yeah.
We've already dropped it 50,000,
So
so.
let me take, so paving, yeah, paving is the next one there, that's kind of on the same line.
Yeah, so we're.
That's gonna be, and, whoop,
When you had that discussion last meeting about the chip coatings,
The chip seal, yeah.
chip seal, sorry.
Yeah. Those are roads that we could apply different treatments to that might prolong
If they're.
the bigger project.
shape.
Right, you need a good base to put it on top of, but, yeah, I mean, this is another one, I mean, what's the benchmark, you can see going out just the 10-year mark there. Based on my estimates for work. Where, I mean, this is where it takes the chart we have there, but at the end of these. You're well underfunded, I mean, just looking at,
yeah.
I was looking at, Back Meadow the other day, cause Noblesboro might. Aim to do some overlay on their section of Back Meadow, and I'd
Yeah.
like to just continue it as far as we can. What I don't know is. What the Chapman Street drainage solution is gonna cost. We are gonna look to try and go after a grant for that. How competitive it is and how successful we are, I don't know,
how
but
much it is.
I don't have an estimate yet from the engineers on what the cost will be.
Our section is a lot better than theirs on Back Meadow.
It is a lot better, so I ran out the numbers to kind of do the whole thing, I'm like, well, we won't have that much, to do an overlay. But what we might be able to aim to do is kind of get us just past Egypt Road. So that way that section's taken care of, and I think, after that one was. I think roughly pushing 100 grand. 85 to 100. Go back and look,
You have 176 from Standpipe to Egypt.
yeah, so I wouldn't propose going quite that far, cause I don't think we've. You know, based on the balance and whatever, we'd be able to do it. We should be able to do maybe a little bit of a shim in a couple spots, but I don't think we're looking at. Milling and major whatever, I think maybe some shims in a few spots. But if we can get past Egypt Road, that would kind of take care of that piece, and then when they come in and eventually do the rest of it. We could minimize the impact of that intersection. Have them work through that, this year if they end up doing that. So I think, you know. The number we have, I don't. Again, you're.
Yeah, it's $5,
Far much more work to
500,000.
do.
Yeah, it's just, the work's there, it doesn't go
Yeah.
away.
What I'm assuming is gonna have to happen is at some point in the near future, you're gonna take another bond out before the current
Yeah.
one's paid off. Your current bond
Yeah.
payment,
I don't-
at 291,000, so. My thought was similar to the fire truck, build this up to a point where you can then catch up with a bond amount.
The bond.
And make payment and still keep funding the other ones, like the principal of the fire truck, and so.
Okay.
So is there anything to that, you know, what we talked about last time in prioritizing roads and doing them 1, 2, 3 and putting this chip treatment on the sort of the least traveled roads?
So
Would that save some money?
there certainly would be, the numbers I have reflect. That I think.
Oh.
Already.
Oh.
Already?
I do need to get you, that road I mentioned, I think that would.
Yeah, I was with you, Dan. I thought that was all asphalt.
Yeah, I thought so too, yeah.
Yeah, let me get you, the summary of the road, improvements, document I have that feeds the values in here. I know I costed out if we were to choose that solution as an option, so when we did the road surface inventory, it tells us what condition it's in and what treatment it needs.
Mhm,
I then put numbers behind each treatment type,
mhm.
and so one of those was a chip seal option.
Yeah.
I just need to see if I actually applied it to any one of them, but I think you might maybe appreciate some of
Yeah,
the road conditions and potential treatment types.
Mhm.
so I think what I'm hearing is we leave that at 200.
That's what I'm
It's one
hearing.
of those ones where, yeah, what do? You just.
Well, I did, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
you have 200, you do $200,000 worth, or you have, yeah, I think, I would throw that as a motion if you're gonna,
Yeah,
motion.
I'll make a motion to, recommend the capital reserve for paving at 200,000.
Second.
2027.
Tom seconded, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Okay.
While we're still on this topic, I mean, I don't know how many of you have driven on School Street, but I've been here 14 years. I've never seen it that bad.
It is
You have to
heaved
slow
over there.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
you
we
should see
assuming
Water
that those
Yeah.
frosties are gonna level out and I'm just gonna put a coating on top or what?
I think that's the assessment you gotta do in the spring.
yeah, well, this end is,
I mean,
it is state
It's
aid,
really bad.
so,
Have you driven up Church Street?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. you can't
Don't drive
even
too
get-
fast.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's complaining about River Road.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
almost
they're pretty
dangerous
rough.
on Lewis Point.
I've driven it
Yeah,
for
sure.
14 years and I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's our challenge and thing to deal with, but we're not unique, in that
Yeah.
problem this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard stories of some other ones nearby that just the nature of the winter we've had.
Ooh, try going out 213 or 215. Forget
Take a
it.
different route, Tom.
let's, I think we just have the one left right now for cemetery, and then we can get situated for the next,
We gotta cut the cemetery.
cause we have a,
oh, right.
town meeting.
So that'll get through the capital budget then?
Almost, just leaves the fire truck reserve.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but that would be,
And we just need more.
that would be capital, yeah, exactly, so we're looking at, 20,000 for cemetery reserve, 5% of that would be $1,000, so it's not, I don't know if that would,
No, it's amazing.
I don't know if it would be, keep them in the ground, enough to keep them.
Well, they're not going anywhere. so-
Well, they're starting to resurface too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are, way.
Some of them are moving.
So move, yeah.
And we're building out for, what are we trying to, 40?
Yeah,
Put a spot over.
so the biggest thing in there is, the roads in 28
Yeah,
for a bunch of places.
Yeah, we did note that at the last meeting, we don't have any estimates right now for any one person or company to go in and deal with the Chapman McAllister Cemetery.
Mhm.
Just know that there's no ready access with the
Right.
4 vehicles to
That's-
that one. So that
Enough to-
hopefully is high.
Mhm.
We do have some that we have to tend to once the snow gets out of here. That did come down in, from the, I think mostly from the outside of the walls that have fallen into the cemetery this winter. John noted that when he walked in there with the contractor that put it in. So yeah, I mean, at 20,000 and you're 5%, so we get $1,000, but I think this is another one. So like, there's a couple of projects that if it helps. Not gonna sink anything right away.
Doesn't
but-
always-
It's not gonna move the needle
It's not
much,
gonna move the
it's not
needle.
gonna move the needle much, I'll,
Okay, yeah.
I'll make a recommendation for 20,000 for the cemetery reserve.
Thank you.
Has it passed yet? Did I hear a second, sorry?
Well, you're okay.
Second.
Tom seconds, okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, yeah, let's put a tack in it there, folks, so that just leaves the fire truck and we can revisit that one, just get some more info. All right, so, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn from the budget workshop. We're gonna do this like 4 times. Oh, Daryl seconds, all those in favor? Okay, we're adjourned from that, let's put a tack in that. So, you guys- Yeah.
I would like to call this special town meeting to order. The first order of business is to elect a moderator. I will accept nominations. Anybody has any ideas who might want to do that? We're not gonna spell me. Anybody?
Can you read my handwriting?
We need a motion. Oh,
I'll make a motion to elect Lorraine Parity as the moderator.
second.
Second.
Okay, the three of you could.
You can read that.
As long as I know your intent, you're fine with it.
It's
The wicked hard name.
Lorraine, spell your name, please.
Like, can you spell it? Yes, I can. Thanks for asking.
All right,
Drum roll.
drum roll is Lorraine.
Oh, my
Lorraine,
gosh.
what a surprise.
So they have it. Thank you, Andy, for the space. Used to have to wear my glasses to do this. I, Lorraine Farady, do swear I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof, so help me God. I do swear I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as moderator of this special town meeting for amendments to the CLC ambulance agreement according to the Constitution of the United States, laws of the state of Maine, and the charter and ordinances of Damascus, so help me God. Play ball. Oh, I'm sorry, spring training.
Thank you, ma'am. Floor is yours.
Okay, that was Article 1. Article 2, we're gonna do some housekeeping deals first. Is there anybody that's gonna speak to this? Are you a resident of Damascus? Okay, and your name?
Nick Bryant.
Nick what?
Bryant.
Bryant, okay. And you're gonna speak to this or not?
Yeah, if you guys have questions and.
Okay, so, we need a motion to allow Nick to speak.
I'll make a motion to allow out of town residents to speak.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, that's housekeeping.
Sorry,
Emergency exits, bathrooms are out there, and you guys have been here more than I have. So, Article 2, shall the town authorize the select board to amend the agreement for joint ambulance service by the towns of Freeman, Bristol, Damascus, Newcastle, Noblesboro, and South Bristol, originally approved by town meeting July 14th, 2020, to revise its terms as mutually agreed upon by the participating municipalities and to authorize the select board to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate said amendment. All right, we have a motion.
I have a motion.
You're moving, second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? The explanation.
Wait a minute.
Couple of questions. Do I have to go up there?
What do you need for, what, moderator? Yeah.
Well,
You should be fine.
he can pick him up, okay.
Hmm?
Just speak up and the mic will pick you up, you're okay.
Okay. Just a couple of questions. Any change in the liability to the town from this change?
No,
No.
there's no change in your financial responsibility, your ability to govern it, your liability. You still are a 1/6 owner, operator of the CLC ambulance service as you were before. Honestly, what this does is that the interlocal agreement, it's changing the wording of it. So the title changes, I don't have it in front of me, I apologize, but for example, the previous agreement, it would refer to each town as the party. And now it uses the word town, and it's changing vernacular like that, that's gonna allow our organization to operate or more clearly be defined as a participating local district, so we'll be able to get into like the MMA insurance pool, hopefully save some money on insurances. It'll allow the employees to get into the public employee retirement fund. So that's a huge benefit for people that work in EMS, fire, law enforcement there. That's a huge benefit that we've never had, that we've always had to kind of fight against. And simply by changing the terminology within the agreement, it'll allow us to qualify and more clearly define us as an organization that's operated and owned by U6 municipalities. So that's the goal here.
And those retirement benefits are a wash because he's been planning for this with setting aside retirement funds now. So it's in the budget already. So it's just a transfer.
So that would be the second question, is this gonna cost the town any money?
This will not change your budget request for 2020. Well, you guys are a fiscal year or a calendar year. This budget year for you folks, it won't change a thing.
And my other question, just any Any concerns that the select board wants to speak to?
Nothing near deck, no, Tom's been, the representative there, he's worked with the Nick and reps there and from. Just like Nick described, what we understand is, yeah, it's really changing some. Wording to allow them to get into, main PERS and some benefits there, so, we're,
It's
yeah.
all to our benefit because it's gonna allow them to maintain and to attract people better than they can right now.
And if we look at the insurance pool, whether it's for insuring the ambulances, the station, or the, employee healthcare. We aren't forced into MMA insurance if it's more expensive for us, so if it doesn't look like a cost-effective measure there, I think it's going to be, but if it doesn't turn out to be, we're not forced into it in any way, so. The budget won't change this year.
But you'll be able to.
Yes, if it turns out to be a cost savings, we're lucky we have a lot of young employees and it's based on your age pool, so. The MMA pool doesn't change like that because it's all public employees, so at some point it may be cheaper for us to use that, so it gives us the option.
Okay, any other discussion on this? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That's the end of the special meeting.
I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Anybody disagree with adjourning? Okay.
I'm not going anywhere, but.
I know.
Right.
Thanks, in favor.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, there's a second the favorite, so, awesome. Right, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. You're not running off, are you? Come on.
I've had enough.
All right. All right, well, we'll dive right in here, so,
Smart guys.
Yes.
Very smart guy.
we good to move on to the next one, Andy? You want to go there? Okay, yeah, so, all right, I'm gonna call the, well, sorry, we had a public hearing first, that's right. Oh my God, I got ahead of myself here, so, yes.
One more upset.
Yep, I know. Which order we're going in here, so, yes, we do have a, public hearing, regarding the, new liquor license application for Smashed Burgers and Brews. Sounds delicious. And this is an open floor if anybody has any comments, concerns, questions, samples, maybe.
As long as they have to, as long as they're gonna carry Tito's, I'm in.
Oh, no PowerPoint presentations ready or anything like that, so.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. When you guys looking at?
Beginning of April,
April, yeah,
soft opening. I have my
Yeah.
liquor inspection and health inspection the 26th.
Yeah.
Of March,
cool,
and then we'll ease into it,
yeah, give it a go and see, yeah,
we're almost done renovating the whole building. We pretty much gutted it, new floors.
Yeah.
new Appliances, painted every wall in there, no more Bigfoot, so.
you've got that vent fan, so it puts that burgers right into the shop there, right? So I can- Oh, Gary knows his marketing, you guys know.
We're gonna keep it simple, about 28 seats.
Yep.
Do you change the layout?
Not much. We got rid of booths. We're gonna do,
Keep the bar.
at the bar, we're gonna do 3 tables, long tables, couple short, 4 top. 7 seats at the bar.
Yeah.
It's gonna all be fresh, local ingredients, produce and stuff in the summer and, grinding our own burger there, so.
You got a nice kitchen in there, a nice large.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
large.
Yeah. We just tiled all that in there and we did all that, so.
Yeah, and
And
it was
all our
an activity.
all our beers, we're gonna keep all from New England, just, keep, a few staples, but then we'll have a rotating, 2 or 3 taps of different craft beers from around New England. And we'll have a full bar, but it's gonna be very limited, I'm not gonna have it's gonna be, 2 or 3.
Keep it
top shelf
small and,
varieties and keep it small and keep it craft cocktails,
yeah, high quality and small, and yeah.
try to be as good as him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? You all good? Okay. All right, with that, we can, close the public hearing, and I will call the Board of Assessors for the town of Damascotta to order. You have one item on here for a tree growth penalty assessment, and this just came in here, right?
Pass that through. I
Yeah.
Didn't put it in the packet. I forgot to include that.
That's fine. Start down there, Darren, and pass it back to the meeting.
We haven't. No.
So we get that and that down. So, yeah, and doing a quick briefing on this. This is for
Yep.
property,
Yeah, up
down
on
the
Main
road, right?
Street, 671 Main Street, and the property owner, the letters there had requested, removing the property from tree growth.
Okay,
The third or last page in there, the assessor's work, to show how we came
How you
to
came to that
the
number.
penalty value. The total value to remove the entire parcel from tree growth is $15,971.48. Those calculations are, we run them, but it's based in statute. It's not something we just.
right, yeah, yeah.
Is this the same place where I saw the planning board was looking at a parking lot?
It is.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what are they planning to do with it? Just curious.
At the moment, they presented the plans for the parking lot. There have been some just very casual conversations about what else it could be done out there.
Usually
There's
there's a
nothing
parking
but-
lot for some reason.
In this case, they're working with, and providing a parking area for the hospital. Where they've been utilizing the church
Oh.
across the street, so they're working with the hospital
Okay.
to provide some, short-term needs there for around
Oh, I
parking.
didn't know that. Okay.
And so they'll
For
just-
employee-
they'll just-
for employee
they'll just
parking.
caravan folks
Yeah,
around.
I think the proposal is about 100 or so, maybe plus spots.
Mhm.
And so it affords them a few more than they have currently at the church. But initially, that's what it's for. I do think that the property owner does have some other visions for more, but at the moment, that's all that's been submitted.
Okay. Hey, I didn't realize that's part of it.
Like 100 parking spots, that's fairly large.
Good size.
Yeah.
Yeah, so bigger than a park.
Yeah.
That park.
We can squeeze 160 in legal spots in the town parking
Yeah.
lot.
So, good. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is just the change, and so they're liable for the 15,971.48. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the tree growth penalty assessment, or is there a? Let's see if I can reference for 671 Main Street, thank you, yeah. Okay. As presented, sorry, I just need a second there. Who got that one? Tom, okay, go ahead, I didn't hear, so. Tom, second.
We were tied.
All right. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, and that is any other business while we're currently Board of Assessors? Good, hearing none, all right. Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn the Board of Assessors meeting.
Second that.
Dan's gonna second, all those in favor? Okay, we just remember to sign that, so I'll put that one up here with the file. All right, and click. Okay, now I'm gonna call the select board meeting to order for the town of Damascotta for March 4th. I'll make a proposal to the board before we go into any further business. We do have two applicants here for licensing, for the police's board. Am I moving those up? Okay. The first one we have is under official action, as we a liquor license renewal for Bread and the Bone. Probably want to get back to work, right? Yep. Any questions, comments, considerations for Bread and the Bone? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license renewal for Bread and the Bone.
I'll second.
Thank you, Daryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, there. Yours is approved. Andy, need to do anything for you guys?
No, Becky will follow up. It's all online, I guess, now, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot easier now than it was.
That makes it so much easier now. To the point, this is just a formality with for the statute. Like,
Yeah, you all still sign it. Becky keeps it, or
Yeah.
you scans or just keeps a copy, but she'll notify the state that's been approved.
yeah, okay. Awesome. You're good. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the next one would be their liquor license approval for Smashed Burgers and Brews. I'll make a motion to approve that one. A second. Tom's gonna second. Thank you, Tom. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, guys get cooking here. Hungry, so yeah. Literally. Yeah, literally, figuratively. So same thing there, Andy. Anything we need to follow up? Yeah.
Zoom.
Guys are good, you're up, good, yeah, yeah. Thank you, guys, okay, awesome. Yeah, let's bounce back to, where were we? Minutes, folks. All right. Anything jumping out anywhere?
I thought it was good for the 18th.
Yeah, I didn't have anything, Tom, anything, I was waiting for Tom to. Tom was.
I was ready to make a lot of negative comments.
I still was relying on you to, did you see anything in there, punctuation, anything?
I can't comment.
I had one, but I
can't find it.
Well, it looked like on our three-man meeting, Daryl had made a motion and seconded the motion.
Oh.
Oh, that was last on the
But I
25th.
can't find, I've been trying to.
Oh.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there, yeah.
That's the next
word,
meeting.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Not the
20, on the 25th, right? That was the one where just the three of us.
I thought it was a three-man meeting, I read it, but
Oh,
So they look all okay.
Yeah.
All of the, motions.
Oh, Dan read it.
Motion. Seconded.
maybe it wasn't a three-man, but, and maybe I misread.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, they do, the ones I'm seeing here look great.
Yeah, okay,
Move on.
all right.
Want a motion?
Nope, it's in there.
Where? You got
Uh,
it?
Was it
Number,
a three-man?
number 9,
Alright.
under, the 18th.
Oh, yeah, motion by Frazier and seconded by Frazier. That was for the special town meeting. Okay,
I'll be,
Oops.
that can't be true.
9I.
yep, so we'll have to, well, we'll give it for that one, let's, I'll make a motion to approve February 25th, let's get that one out of the way.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you, Daryl. Any discussion on that one? Hearing none, all those in favor? Just three of us and just two abstain, okay. So that one, and then on the 18th, Linda, do you know, you gotta check your notes, you know who?
Check them quickly.
Okay.
want to come back?
We can come back to it, yeah, if you get, because we can get it out of the way tonight if you want, but we'll, so, let's move into financials. We have a payroll warrant number 40, it was back for time, 40 and 39, okay. Payroll warrant number 40.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll number 40.
Okay, thank you, Daryl. Anybody want to second that? Second. Good, oh, didn't hear you over here. Andrew's gonna second, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, and nobody wants the accounts payable one, do they? That's the. I jumped up here.
That was scary.
I'll move AP 39 if somebody wants to second me on that one. All right, Ed, thank you. Yes, go ahead. I know Andrew's gonna sneak out here in a minute. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, those, all right. Andrea does have to scoot out of here in a couple of minutes, so she's signing stuff right now for us. Andy, you wanna dive into some manager's material? Anything? Sounds so excited about it. Sure. It's been a long day.
It's getting longer.
Oh, I applied, the first thing there, we had that summer intern through the Margaret J. Smith College Center
Yeah.
last year. Applied for another intern this year, for us alone. Newcastle and Damerscott also jointly applied for one.
Okay.
Our projects, outlined there, the joint one, don't think I mentioned in there, the joint one would be to do some field work and collecting infrastructure assets in the field for road, public works stuff. When Kevin and I got talking about, regardless of where the two-town conversation goes in the next, between now and the end of August, both towns, we both want to have a better asset list of our infrastructure. And so, we're proposing to have, to share the cost of that one and have that individual go out and do a lot of GPSing for us. For some of that type of stuff, and if they have the time to be able to do an actual, more of a report and talk about maintenance and.
Would roads themselves be an asset, bridges, or is it more like?
It's more
equipment?
culverts, catch basin,
Okay.
potentially poles, if there's times we would prioritize our assets probably first, and if there was time and it allowed for it, we might have them catch a few other things that are out there that might not be our manhole covers for sewers, for example, or something like that, but. We gotta come up with a prioritized list for that. Road surface conditions is something we're gonna be doing before they arrive, most of the frost and things settle out. So just as an update on that,
Yeah, no, thank you.
it's, I think $17 an hour is what we have to pay. We won't have a grant this year, so we got one last year, but. It's 12 weeks, 40 hours a week, and so we'll have the ability, I looked at the budget and we'll be fine to be able to afford it. It'll split the fiscal year, but we'll be okay to do
That's
that.
a reasonable rate to get somebody in.
Yes.
Mhm.
So just trying to check off and make sure we're able to keep pushing on some of these projects and things we have to get done. Planning on posting roads. I don't know if folks have seen the 10-day forecast. We're gonna hit 60s next week for a day.
Wow.
So, we've been monitoring it, and so we're anticipating those will need to be posted potentially as early as Friday.
Yeah.
It's been nice to have the sun, as cold as it's still been, but to have some of these slower melt days. And the last thing we want is to, what's about to happen probably with that frost is all potentially gonna just let out.
Yeah.
Quicker. So hopefully.
It's you.
Hopefully, but yeah, we'll be posting those, this week, presumably, so.
Yeah.
Western Road,
Yeah, that'd be a mess.
up at that one, I do wanna flag that, John's getting some pricing from a couple companies to do some free work there.
Okay.
That's one that in the operating budget for a couple of years now, I've been wanting us to get in and do the deal with that one.
Yeah. We've pushed that off for a while.
Once we get the numbers, he's pricing it two ways, one is just dealing with the canopy over the road,
Mhm.
and the other price that we're asking for is to. Kind of
Cut it back.
anticipate road improvement and drainage, future drainage needs and say, what would the cost be to do the whole road and go 10 or 15 feet off the road's edge?
Yeah.
Working within that assumed right away.
Yeah.
And so once we get those numbers, we'll bring them to you and just putting that seed out there now to think about it. I don't know that I expect we'll be able to afford to do the whole thing, the full width, but if we can at least get in there and get parts of that canopy opened up over the roadway, that'll
Get
help.
the worst spots and, yeah.
In the winter time for next year, hopefully, and get some through
Yeah.
there. Grants. Upcoming, I noted upcoming, I mentioned the earmark funds, one's due Friday. We'll be close to getting everything we needed for that one. The other two, I think the Senate now has officially released guidance. Senator Collins did have it on her website last week. Senator King's is up today, I believe I heard. So those, I believe, on Senator Collins' site had March 18th as a deadline.
Okay.
So a little bit of breathing room on there. To resubmit, probably different if we did more information or more support letters in. The county asked grant, we're working with Michael and I are gonna find a submit one for that for the cost, the upfront cost of implementation for a GIS program, which is currently being requested in next year's budget. When he got the number last year, it was about $4,000 just to do the launch and implementation, so the hope is that we can apply for an ask grant to cover that cost. Lower the $4,000 in next year's budget to just cover the annual maintenance.
Okay.
So we might not know before the budget process runs up, but we are trying to do that. And then Emerson had reached out to the state about the adaptation infrastructure fund. I've reached out to the engineers to say, here are the program goals, is the design work on the Chapman Street drainage project. So what you're coming up with, will that fit with these goals? And then try and go after the capital improvement costs through that grant program. So those are things up. And did submit the closeout for the ARPA money. It's been a while, that got awarded, what, 21, I think.
Yeah.
21. As a reminder, that funded a few things for us. A good portion of it went to Miles Street drainage improvement there and that work. The town did put some money towards Stepping Stones housing project. I believe it was for that tiny house on Biskie Road.
Yeah.
10 grand went to the Chamber of Commerce to create a training space. Some ventilation improvements here. If there was one more thing, that is it.
So what?
Oh, yeah, I had it right there, training room,
Air quality
yeah,
improvement.
those 4 things.
Yeah.
It did include a component of broadband at one point, but the two towns didn't really have an active committee.
Yeah,
At
that just
point.
didn't grow
That's
out
we
of
had
that.
24, we ended up repurposing it to the Miles Street project. Other than that, any questions on the ones that are currently funded and in place? I mean, just provided some of them didn't change, the status for the last few weeks haven't changed.
I don't think you've given us updated any, so I know there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Just.
Mm.
Other than that, I didn't have anything, any of the questions things I didn't cover that you're questions about? Good. Did I miss anything from Markel? With Sharon, you had your first meeting yesterday?
Yeah, we had the first stakeholder meeting for the PPI project yesterday.
Oh.
That we had in the fellowship hall at the Baptist church. And that was technically for the corridor from Bristol Light up to Biskie. We had 7 folks show up, so not a huge crowd, but we did still manage to fill the 2 hours with, I think, with discussion that felt pretty meaningful. And we had people leave comments saying that they felt heard and they felt that it was a productive meeting. So that was good feedback to get. A little bit unexpected, I think. And yeah,
Any early themes?
flow and speed of traffic is one, for sure, that's coming up. Sidewalks, again, discussion about how much sidewalk we want to add and where. Some people want to go all the way from, downtown all the way up past, Hannaford. Some people just want it from Rising Tide there, and obviously you've got concerns about like Hilltop Canyon and blasting and how you're gonna manage traffic there. One thing that we expected to come up that did come up was also making sure that we learn our lesson from the parking lot project and that businesses can maintain their regular customer base, and parking was something big that came up too during potential construction. But we just also are reminding, this is not construction at this point. The process for the next 6 months is planning only, and we're not shovel ready, we're not digging anything up. But we want to get in now and make sure that community voices come up. So it'll be interesting to hear what folks have to say on Monday when we have this same meeting at Coastal Rivers, and then moving forward when we have our public meetings too, kind of what comes out of there. But I think we're hoping to hear a little bit more about maybe folks from GSB and the schools talk a little bit about what they want to see. We had John Gallagher come and talk a little bit from his perspective with water sewer. So that was good to have.
What about the intersection of Biscay and Main Street? Did that come up? Because you're right there at the Baptist church.
So that one came up very minimally, just really talking about pedestrian improvements and how hard it is to cross Main Street at that location. And we said, for that intersection specifically, we're not going to do major infrastructure change. We're going to focus on pedestrian crossings and really just trying to improve speed and ease of access to get from one side of Main Street to the other there. School Street was a big conversation. Right out here for the intersection. I mean, talking about Biskie as well, but should you allow left turns? Should you change the speed of the light? Thinking about how emergency vehicles are accessing that. So most of the conversation centered around there. We did have the folks from Clark's Bar and Stand come, so that was maybe why we spent so much time on it. But for Bristol Road, mainly pedestrian crossing.
Okay. Yeah. Have you and the consultants done the walk of the whole stretch?
Not yet. That's March 13th.
Next Friday.
Cool, thank you, Emerson. How's the EV parking doing?
Hey, so far
Yeah,
so good.
so,
Yeah.
We'll get an update when you can, we'll see what that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just got
we
the
just put another bill
CMP bills this week, so we'll run like we did before and kind of overlay the revenue.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just send it,
Yeah.
email it out, wherever.
It's very exciting.
Watching those, so.
We still got people parking anywhere from 30 minutes to 7 hours,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. It's interesting this time of year where it's quiet,
Yeah.
still, it's
Very informative, but the most I've seen at one time is 4 cars plugged in.
Yeah, and that's about right, and that is that's the max that we've got in our calculations, even for the summer, so we expect to see that and which will be great for us.
Yeah, most times it's just 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's a handful of them, but
Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Andrew, you gotta get going.
Where's your boss?
Yeah, sorry. No problem.
Do you want to do this minutes real
Yeah.
quick?
Yes, okay,
Where's the NDA that actually seconded?
so it was Daryl.
Daryl,
Yeah. We know. Okay.
You're good, you're
Okay.
good. You're not the only one.
We can send it, you get going, go ahead, I'll get. So. Yes, so we'll move, I'll make a motion to move February 18th minutes with the amendment on what was 9. 9I, thank you, and it would have been seconded by Daryl Day.
Daryl did.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
Okay, Daryl, you sure? Daryl's gonna say it.
That's really tested.
Discussion, yeah, okay, all those in favor? All right, there, okay, Andrea, we're on. Oh, that's right, get going, we have like a couple one. You're good, yeah, you're good, you're good. Go get your kid.
One demerit.
Just, it's.
All right, and yeah, we're all good with discussion items, I mean, not discussion, but with Andy's report here, I mean, we're good, we can, move on, I think we got one last official action item, right? So we have an appeals board.
Yeah, I had that in my at the end of my manager's report.
Is that what it is?
It just came in an email,
Licenses.
We should be good, we have quorum, so,
You're okay.
yeah, you'd be probably, yeah.
it was in the works since the summer, and he emailed me back, again. A couple weeks ago,
So
Oh, sorry, everybody. Yeah,
I'm just saying that I'm having knee surgery on Friday, and so I will be zooming in for meetings for like the next couple weeks.
awesome, okay, yeah, no problem.
Probably.
But I can,
At least, yeah.
I can, but
Replacement?
yeah.
It's me more than a couple of weeks.
Tom. Thank you, Andrea, yeah. Well, all if you need, you know.
Terrified it is.
No, it's.
My husband did both.
Lots of support here for you. Thank you, Andrea.
Can I ask a question about the appeals board?
Yeah.
What, have they ever met?
ever, yes.
And like,
Don't ask me the last
in
time.
recent memory, like, since you've been here?
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
it's been a while.
okay.
I wanna say COVID, there was a couple of things that were on the docket right about the time COVID started. I think Rising Tide, there was a folder on Becky's desk for them at one point, had to do with color of the building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
and I
right.
think there was
Yeah.
another one that
Remember that.
maybe it considered, I remember another folder for a property on. Near Church and Chapman, I think that had some issues going on about the same time,
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
okay.
It's an easy one to like, I wanna be involved, it's like, what about Board of Appeals? How can they meet? As needed.
Well, I mean,
That's
this
last
is-
time, been a while.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we can find another spot eventually, they give them something more substantial, so they get in, so.
With Grant, I've never, you know, he does his heritage landscaping, I believe it is, so I figured like, you do landscaping, you know a way around ordinances, shoreline zoning at least, I'm sure, and. Oh, yeah, so like, he's someone who feels like, I can read
Yeah.
ordinances and interpret and make decisions on that, and so.
Okay, yeah, and Grant, he keeps an eye on the town affairs, he pops it in Chesapeake once in a
Well,
while.
interest in some other committees at some point, but he's still working enough that he didn't feel he could he don't wanna overcommit himself. So he might do some more later, but for now.
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Grant Soder up to the appeals board for a term ending in 2029. Yeah, I'll call for a second.
Somebody know him? I don't know.
I don't know, maybe, yeah, I'll second. You have a second? Okay, yeah. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, yeah. I know, you said he talks to you. He does, yeah, I don't know if that's. He doesn't yell at me. Yeah. No, Grant's a good guy, just get family there, yeah, okay, so, cool. All right, that in there, and that's everything for, we need to do, and discussion items, anybody have anything this evening,
No, if anybody ever makes it to Key West, check with me, I got some recommendations.
Awesome, yeah. Keep doing it. Good. All right.
This time of year is good, temperatures are on 75.
Yeah, it's probably beautiful down there, yeah. I don't have anything to top that, I have no warm places to send anybody, so.
That's a great way to
Yeah,
close.
yeah, Dan has his ski mountain, but other than that, I mean, that's.
It'll shrink in the next week.
Yeah, sorry to go, so.
But it's actually like a two-sided one, because from the street side, it's ugly.
Oh,
Well, before this last new snow.
Yeah.
At least from our house side, it's still white, so it's. And there's-
Over the street side is terrible. I did that the other day, and
Line at it, you know, I got face or something.
We have used it for sledding.
He carved some steps in, doesn't he? Happen.
Oh,
Yeah, so.
King of the mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
it'll be gone soon. Oh,
Yeah.
well, all right. Well, with that, we wanna make a motion, I'll make a motion to adjourn, did all the other ones, so. Motion to adjourn, second. Thank you, Tom, any discussion? All right, all those in favor of adjournment, we're good there, all four, we have a whole bunch of stuff to